like to wait in lines? Do you like to feel invisible? No, I wouldn't think most people would. However, I witnessed my disabled father wait hours on end just for a handicap room in a doctor's office. My father is wheelchair bound due to his left side being paralyzed from a stroke. I take my father to all his doctor's appointments and other shopping ventures. I'll admit, it took having my disabled father to open my eyes to what society has limited handicapped people to do. To advocate for someone in need is what the foundation of our great nation stands for, helping people. Someday you might need someone to advocate on your behalf. Becoming an advocate for the disabled helps their voice to be heard instead of being pushed to the side like a forgotten chair. Being an advocate also allows the topic of what areas needs to be addressed in the disability area and to bring awareness to the cause. Causing awareness highlights the issues that everyday people wouldn't think about because it doesn't affect them. Highlighting a shortage of handicap rooms, spaces, changing areas will inspire change by some and plant a seed in all that is shared with. First, let's start by sharing a few needs of the disabled that advocacy will be beneficial for. The undefined basic area left to accommodate the disabled. Public accommodations must comply with the basic non-discrimination requirements that prohibit exclusion, segregation, and unequal treatment. The word basic leads to an undefined area by most businesses. That is where becoming an advocate can help. Money plays a huge factor when dealing with accommodations for the disabled. There's a shortage of or no handicap rooms in doctors' offices. Shopping malls, grocery stores, and restaurants don't make themselves easily accessible to the handicapped despite their claim of doing so. When confronted with the question of why there isn't more accessible rooms for handicapped people, the common answer was simply put, too expensive. That simply isn't a good enough reason. Shopping facilities ignore their responsibility to provide customers with a private space to properly change their undergarments. Incontinence is already an inconvenience to their lifestyle, and not having a proper changing facility adds to an even bigger inconvenience. As a person with a disability, it is easy for these issues to go unnoticed because we don't partake in these type of facilities to notice. It takes an advocate speaking out on behalf of the disability groups to try to find solutions to obvious problems such as lack of space to accessible for the disabled. I've come up with a small way I'd like to share with you to try to help with these issues. Create a disability enforcement unit that will inspect businesses and work with the disabled to create new laws to give them a better quality of life. Worldwide, there are task units set up to inspect all sorts of things. Currently, some states have implemented a disability task force. The websites for these units aren't easy to navigate, nor does the disabled person know that they even exist. As a first step, the task force facilitated effective communication and informed sharing with the American Red Cross, federal civil rights attorneys, FEMA, Office of Disability and Integration Coordination, and local networks that improve the lives of older adults and people with disabilities. I would start with the Disability Enforcement Unit by forming a team on a local county level. Having a unit on a local level ensures two things. It makes businesses adhere to the law set before them and gives the disabled a better quality of life. The importance of creating a disability enforcement unit is one solution in our process of advocate for the disabled. Life for the disabled would continue on a downward path if no one decided to make a step to help the disabled. Dealing with the daily struggles with no one to enforce any standards or make any new laws to support a better way of life for the disabled would be disappointing. The disabled people's quality of life would continue to go down because there's no help. When we have no one to talk to locally, things get bypassed and overlooked. You merely become an audience of life instead of a participant. Often when solutions aren't met, you'll go left behind in society. It turns into a situation of a lack of equal opportunities, like in education, healthcare, transport, and housing. What is life really like for disabled people? The Disabilities Diaries reveal all. There's a whole other world out there just if you open your eyes and your heart. Now you know some of the reasons why it's beneficial to become an advocate for the disabled. Becoming an advocate can can take on many roles and still accomplish the same goal. No matter if you're a shy person or if you're a born leader, there is a role that you can play to become involved. Here's a list of examples to get you on your way to becoming the best advocate you can be for the disabled. Understand the basics of learning and attention issues. Learn about the laws protecting people with disabilities. Get on the mailing list for advocacy organizations. Act on a pressing issue. Talk about what you know. And vote. Advocating for the disabled encourages the best in people to come out and do the right thing. With all the choices you have been presented today, which topic will you choose to get started in? There are many choices and all are great options that vary in how much you're willing to put in the advocacy program. Becoming an advocate really boils down to speaking up for your fellow mankind. Your voice is the greatest tool you could have. Are you ready to put your skills to the test? Any nerves you may have, I guarantee, is outweighed by the feeling of accomplishment. No part is too small to make a difference in someone's life.